welcome to the sixth component. I'm Laura.
I'm Kaitlin.
So great to have you today. Today is episode 3 already, and gosh, today we're talking about getting prepared. You know, we are in a business. We work in a business. We own and operate a standalone business within a school district. And so, you know, being a part of that leadership and the balance of life and all of those things, we really just wanted to focus a full episode on how you can be most successful in being prepared and the best leader that you can be.
So Laura, you start today. You're gonna answer you're gonna not answer questions. We're not gonna ask questions. You're just gonna tell us what you do.
Yes.
What do you do to get prepared?
Yeah, well, I think we all, as professionals, and really for those of you that are crazy busy parents and just really prioritizing your life, we just want to give you some tips and tricks for what works for us. And maybe you can utilize one or two of these to make your life a little more successful and your balance and professionally too. So I personally use Sunday nights. I spend at least an hour, try to keep it under an hour, just to prepare myself, not only mentally, physically. I set out my clothes for the week. I am one of those weirdos.
For the whole week?
Well, depends. If I know that I have a special meeting, I set that out. I also check my calendar. I look to see where I need to be in the mornings, especially because it impacts my spouse and my kids and getting on the bus and all of those things.
Okay, but what do you do on Sunday night? What do you do? I don't do Sunday nights. I am a believer in having the weekend for myself. So tell everybody what you do on Sundays.
I prep a lot of food.
Okay.
I prep a lot of my calendar, my team. So like I will send emails reminding them of certain things. I will set up potential agendas. A lot of times I am adjusting staffing because someone may call in on Sunday night. So there may be a bunch of unexpected time just adjusting teammates to make sure that we can feed kids on Monday morning. I also just double check that everyone is where they need to be from their lives, and looking at the other administrative teammates and going, okay, that looks heavy. I'm going to drop that meeting or shift that meeting. It looks like they have a haircut at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I better shift this meeting up because I don't want to push into their personal lives. So a lot of it is, yes, it's for my behalf as a leader, but then also to be aware and empathetic and cognizant of my team's lives too. So it works. Good. I mean, what do you do on Sunday?
Sunday, I shouldn't say I do nothing because I do prepare my kids and my family for the week. Right. Sure. That's something, sure. I mean, that's a family thing that I have to do. I don't do any work stuff on Sunday nights because I just feel like I need that time. I need that time to relax a little bit and disconnect because I always know I'm going back tomorrow. It's that 6 o'clock Sunday night feeling. All right, tomorrow's Monday, but you know what? I don't do anything.
That's great though too. And I think, I know we'll get there at the end of the challenge, but I think that's important for you to know what you need, right? So I need to be a certain level of mental preparedness coming into the week, and you do that probably first thing Monday morning.
Yes.
And that's just as well too. So I don't think it's good, bad, or indifferent. I think you need to figure out what works best for you so that you're prepared for yourself and your team. And I think as a leader, like that's what makes you from good to better and better to best is to just know what's going to be your flavor, your style, and do it and be consistent with it. So let's talk about your calendar. Like, I'm sure it's all over the board, Kaitlin. Like, I'm assuming your calendar is like blasted full, not only of like what your boss needs you to do, what your teammates needed to do, and my guess is there's a special menu item that you want to go eat lunch at and enjoy.
Yeah. So I am really big on color coding my menu. I have to I color code everything. I have like 7 different color pens that I use on my menu. I go so far as to buy dry erase markers that are the same color as my pens for my table calendar, my desk calendar, because I like to visually see these are the things I have to do. I fill it out for the entire month as far as you can, right? Because you can't anticipate everything. But
So you print out your calendar and
I
you
have
color code.
No, I have a desk calendar. I have the big
old
one, the old-fashioned paper calendar that you can buy at any store, Walmart, Target,
Are you
whatever.
for real?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. I buy one every year, and I write it down. I also have a calendar in my phone.
Oh, sure.
I mean, we all do, right? Yep. That one's not color-coded because that's too much work. But I have a dry erase calendar on my door of my office so that anybody in my office, if they're looking for me and they don't know where I am, they can look at my calendar and they can see, okay, these are the things going on. If I have a virtual meeting and the door's closed, they can see that I'm in a virtual meeting.
Smart. So not only for yourself, but then you share and showcase, it sounds like, multiple calendars to your team. But that helps you to stay focused and on point and not missing meetings. I think we've all had those oh my gosh, right when your phone gives you the 10-minute warning, you frantically move quickly. So I think it helps to eliminate the added stress, and I think that's really what this is about, being prepared. So because you're stressed already enough, your job is stressed, you've got enough customers and parents and teammates to stress you out at times.
Let's be honest. I feel like 90% of our jobs is putting out fires.
Yeah,
right?
For sure.
I mean, we've got kids coming to us with problems. We've got staff coming to us with problems. We've got food not coming in, whatever it is. So let's try to prepare ourselves in a way that makes us feel a little bit less stressed. And we can control the situation the most that we can.
Absolutely. What's in your locus of control? That small little circle around you. The rest of it, it's gonna hit you all day long. So smart. So deadlines. So we all know that when we work with our state organizations, that we have lots of deadlines and lots of key areas, not only for the claiming, but the reporting. I use my calendar. I just dump in those items right away at the beginning of the school year. I don't know what you do, Kaitlin.
Yeah, so a really helpful tip, usually your state Department of Instruction or Education, whatever your state calls it, will have some kind of calendar on their school nutrition page that you can print out, and it'll tell you when everything is due. I think that's a huge thing for me, especially when I first started, because you don't know what's due and what's not due, and sometimes you don't even know what you're supposed to be doing. So it'll tell you, like,
and that's okay. Yep. Clear.
Yep. But it will tell you. It will tell you this is due on this day, and this is what it is. And if you have any questions, you can click the link that'll take you how to fill it out.
I love that. And so in our area, it's called DPI, or the Department of Education or Department of Instruction. Again, like you said, they're going to be the best resource for you, and certainly utilize them. That's what they get paid to do. So
for sure.
Love that. Remembering deadlines. Something that I use and I try to do my best is I'm really good in the morning, and I don't know, we had just discussed this, like, Caitlin's not a morning person. No. I am, but so I try to put the meetings that I need the most out of, the most important areas of, like, if I'm building professional development for my staff, I block in between 8 and 10. And I also try to then put things in the later of the day that are maybe less critical.
Sure.
Because you never know what's going to actually happen in the middle of the day. So I try to stack my day with the most important at the top and the most that I need my brain for, so that I know as the day wears on, I'm going to have this, like, afternoon nap feel, you know? And so that helps me a lot, but also I'm try to be also thoughtful and ask my staff to, and a lot of times I'll come in really early if I know that our staff, our production supervisors or the leads in the kitchen have more time in the morning, I will adjust to make it work for them. So I try to be as thoughtful as I can, not only for myself, but our staff.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm completely the opposite. I'm not a morning person. So I will, cheers. By 8 o'clock, I will be able to go to a meeting and, like, be present, but I am not going to come in early. That's not ever something I will do. I am going to lay in bed until I know I absolutely cannot lay in bed any longer.
Do you hit the snooze?
Oh my gosh.
You do not.
I hit the snooze probably 12 times in the morning. Probably 12.
So, as you can see, we are completely different. I wake up a minute before my alarm.
Oh, you do?
And I never hit, sometimes, and I never hit the snooze. but this is a whole nother topic for a later conversation, because I work out in the crazy early morning because I have 3 children who go everywhere. So I think it's just whatever works for you in the season of life that you're in, whether you have the privilege of sleeping in a little bit or not, it works.
Yeah,
it absolutely works. But again, being prepared and you know what you need to do.
So I stack my important meetings at the end of the day. But one thing I always keep open, and you probably do too for the most part, when we have control of it, is lunch. Yeah. We have to be available at lunchtime because that's when all of our staff is in.
Yes.
The kids are coming through the lines. If there's a catastrophe in the kitchen, which happens, we all know it happens, and we need to go quick to a school, then we need to be available.
That's right.
I think that's important. I try to schedule my meetings not between the hours of 11 and 1.
That's really smart. And I think that that's what's best practice for staff and for students, and really, really carving that time out for them. I think something that you do too is, and certainly myself and our team does this as well, which is literally a site visit. So almost every day or every other day, it's really just to check in with the staff and making sure that they know that you're available. And I think that that's part of being prepared. And then also having that flexibility so that you've got the time to put your biggest effort in where it matters the most. So that's great. Yeah. I also think that there's a lot that we both do that you do, because there's so many reports, there's claims, there's people to support in adjusting labor and menu and all that stuff. But it's really important to delegate. And I was told not that long ago that if someone can do the work at 60% their first time out, or even, the first couple times out, they can do 60% as good as you can do, you better give it to them.
I love that tip.
So I would strongly urge you to sit back at your desk and think about, what could you take off your plate? So quick example, I just gave away or delegated to one of our lead cashiers organizing our claim data. So they will take the edit checks and put that into a Google spreadsheet in the exact order that our state needs it, with the school, with the number of days, the attendance, all of the things that the state needs, that I literally can copy and paste direct into the system, and I don't have to spend half of my Sunday getting all of that data. So just real quick, to know that it's not going to be perfect, I'm going to have to review it a couple times and make sure it's comfortable and audit it anyway, but just as a quick tip, simple. What do you do?
I will tell you, when I first started in school nutrition, as a director, my first job was working with you. I was like allergy allergy stuff. But when I first became a director, I decided it was very important for me to oversee every single thing that happened in the district. So I had somebody who did the free and reduced applications for me. I looked them over. I read every single line to make sure that everything was correct. I looked over all the payments. So dumb. I burnt myself out so fast. And I remember when I switched jobs and I came into my new role, and I decided at that time, because it was a fresh start, right? I was going to let my secretary do her job, and it has been the greatest thing I have ever done for myself.
It's empowering the staff that you have, because I'm going to tell you something. I think that's the biggest piece that lesson learned from the mistakes I've made during COVID. We all had to get around a table and make fast, hard decisions. And when one person would say something, someone would add on it and make it better. And it's the same way with just getting prepared and allowing the gift of delegation from yourself, because it helps you, but it also helps them grow. So that's really great, Kaitlin, to realize, again, lessons learned.
Yeah, nobody wants a micromanager in their job anyway.
Absolutely.
So don't have your schools call you to place their milk orders if they don't need to. Just let them place it. Just do it. Let something go.
Yes. And if the milk doesn't show up, let them figure out the solution for that day, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's a great tip, is just delegation. And this is something that both Kaitlin and I get the privilege of working in close proximity to each other, like logistically as school districts. So you figured it out. We were intern, supervisor, friends at the gym, colleagues. We've done this. Had babies. I had a baby, and I had 2 babies. You had a baby.
And then you had another one, and I had another one.
So you get the gist that we are not only friends, but we're also directors in close school districts, and we're also part of a buying group, and that's for a later episode. But it's really important to join each other as directors to help each other get prepared. So, if Kaitlin has something that she's already done, I can say, hey, Kaitlin, can I steal that with Grace? So that I don't have to recreate the wheel on something, whether it's an order guide or maybe a new local producer that she's already created a relationship with. Those are things, instead of spending my time doing and starting ground up, I can say, hey, can you give me a hand on this?
And then guess what? When I need something, she's going to give it to me too.
Exactly. Exactly. So, getting prepared is a part of it, but then when the work actually happens, that the work can be easier, right?
Yes.
So little bites, you can't eat an elephant at once. And so if she takes a bite, I take a bite, we help each other. So leverage local school districts and other directors that maybe are just starting, because they have fresh new ideas, all the way up to those that have a little more experience.
Right.
Yeah.
And what do you do if you need help, Laura?
Well, I pick up the phone, and honestly, do you really want to know?
Yeah.
Sometimes I call my mom.
Okay.
So this is going to sound silly, but I'm in my early 40s, and my mom is at that retired age, and sometimes a different perspective and wisdom
Absolutely. Yes.
is all that you need. Someone else from the outside looking in. So I'll call my mom, I'll ask friends, but I also reach out to you, and I also reach out to other administrators and other people within our school district. And a lot of times they know the answer. In between all of those different voices, you're smart, you're wise, you know what to do. Grab some of all of those ideas and just, see what they think. And sometimes just ask them for help. It doesn't matter if it's making a meal, right, personally, all the way up to, asking Kaitlin or another school district to say, hey, I really need to borrow that form.
Yeah. Do you want to know what's funny?
What do you do?
I also call my mom.
You call your mom?
Yeah. And we hope, because we're both moms, we hope that our kids do that someday too, right?
I know. And oh my gosh, if you haven't done this is, I know we're at the end of this discussion, but you should call your mom.
Yeah, call your mom.
That's your challenge. That's one of your challenges today, is to call your mom.
That's our impromptu challenge. Call your mom.
Yeah, call your mom and tell her you love her and tell her you appreciate her.
And if it's not your mom, call your dad, call your best friend, call somebody who helps you.
Absolutely. So that's a great challenge.
Yeah.
But I think that being prepared is a part of this. So there's so many things that are getting thrown at you all the time. I really think, though, that you also need to have not only preparation for the work, but Kaitlin, you also need preparation for the play.
Oh, absolutely.
So talk to me about how that's your challenge. What does that mean for you?
Yeah, so the challenge this week is that we need to make sure we're resting when we need to rest.
Yeah.
And I don't care how you do it. If you need to take a lunch break,
yes,
because you never take a lunch break, because you're eating lunch with the kids at school, you need to take a break. Yeah. Your lunch break can be at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. That's okay.
Yep.
That's when my lunch break typically is.
Yeah.
Or 1:30, something like that.
And so it's not about the time or the actual logistic piece of it. It's about just taking some refreshing moment to step back. We know a local school nutrition director that goes to Target and walks around.
Yes. Yes. Because you get away. You need to get away. So it can be physically getting away, like going on vacation, or it can be mentally getting away, like me not doing anything on Sunday nights. Yeah. If Sunday nights works for you, great. Take a different time of the day to get away.
Absolutely. And for myself, I've got kids in a lot of sports after school, so I'll leave probably a half an hour early and then take them to where they need to be, and just being in the car with them, talking to them. So that's my break. And then I go right back to doing a little bit more work when it's appropriate for my family. So it doesn't have to be perfect. That's what this is about. It's not about perfection. It's about progress in your leadership and progress in your career. Because the bottom line is, because the sixth component is you, we can't have you burning out. And so much of this is that we haven't figured it all out, but we figured a few things out. And you've got to make this career work for you, because it is taxing, it is exhausting, it is a lot, but it is so rewarding. It is. And we want that reward to shine higher than the amount of tax that it's taking on your mind and your body and your soul and your heart
Yeah.
So I think there's the two challenges there. I think the first one is call your mom, love her, love on her, and if again it's not your mom, someone that you do love.
Absolutely.
And then secondly is really to figure out what does rest look like for you, and what is, maybe it's that lunch break, maybe it's planning your vacation and doing it. And so great to have you today. Cheers, Kaitlin.
We can't wait to see you guys next week.
All right, see you guys later. Thank you.